Hello. Okay, Abraham. First, I want to clarify, I really am a happy little camper. And my goal in life is to continue staying on that end of the spectrum.
It's always very frightening when someone starts out like this.
So, I just want to make that clear because I want clarity, and so it seems as though I'm not happy when I ask the question, but I really am. And also, very respectfully, I want to ask you not to jump in with the answer until I'm through with the question. Because I want to be real clear.
We are certain we were not pointing at you.
I just want you to be real clear where I'm coming from. Because to me up here, I'm coming from here, but I'm really coming from over here.
Well, you've used almost all of your time already.
And I'll talk real fast. Okay. First of all, I get you when you say nothing's more important than I be happy, and why. I get you where you say nothing has to change for me to be happy. And if I can't be happy about this one thing, then shift over here where you can be happy and just keep that connection. I get all that. Where I need help with you is you tell us that desire is innate with us. We cannot not desire. It's built into us. And so you tell us, go forth and rev up your desire and shoot rockets of desire. And so I go, oh boy, here we go. And then while I'm shooting this rocket of desire, I also hear you say, and you haven't stressed it today, but you have in other workshops, at the same time, you need to be happy or be okay with your desires not manifesting. And so when I'm going this way, I'm like, oh, I have to ratchet back and be okay with not getting that desire? So why would I even go there? And so I've got that angst with really, truly wanting that and not getting it. So I listen to you. You say, okay, focus on what you can be happy about. And I go, okay, la-di-da, I'm really happy. But then I go over there and I really want that, but I have to be happy. And I go, oh, isn't that wonderful? And so I'm doing this and it's exhausting. And I'm saying, okay, who am I kidding? I'm not happy. So, about that. I'm happy over here, but not about that. So my logical mind says, okay, so you have to take the manifesting out of the equation altogether and just go shooting rockets, and not caring about the manifestation, because that seems to be what you're telling us to do. But then I kind of feel kind of irresponsible because, like, shouldn't I be focusing on something other than saying, la-di-da, I'm happy, even though that's my goal, to be happily ever after without any attachment to the who's and the whys and the whens. And I like that. I really do. But I kind of dragged into the...
All right, we can't stand it anymore.
Okay, fine. Okay. Well, it's good enough. Okay.
We have to jump in.
Okay. Oh, you got enough of
it. Did you hear us as we were speaking with some friends, trying to distract them from their subject, or did you hear us trying to get them to stay focused upon the subject at hand and shift their vibration about it? In other words, did you hear la-di-da-di-da, or did you hear, let's see if we can move this from a place of despair into a place of hope?
Oh, the hope. Yeah.
So if the options were focus upon that which I feel good about, or focus upon that which I feel bad about, we would say focus upon that which you feel good about, even if it requires changing the subject. But then we say, if this that you're focused upon that makes you feel bad really matters to you, so it keeps coming up and coming up and coming up and coming up and coming up, then rather than changing the subject, it is well worth your time to focus upon the subject that right now is not where you want it to be and practice it into a better feeling place. You bring a very good point forward, and we've talked about this quite a lot. The difference between the science of deliberate creation approach and the art of allowing approach, because all of it is what we teach. Sometimes we want you to focus more about what you want because you are in a place that you want to get your juices flowing. There are some people who feel limp. They don't feel excited about life. They haven't allowed themselves to think about what they want for a very long time. They have not allowed or encouraged the energy to flow through them. And so making lists of things they want and talking about why they want them is the very first order of business for them to get the energy flowing. But we see far more of you who have energy already flowing, who have patterns of thought that contradict your own desire. And when you have patterns of thought that contradict your own desire, you really only have the choice of either forgetting about the desire altogether and really letting it go, or finding a way to become a vibrational match to the desire that you have launched. We are eternal spewers of processes, as you know, and every process that we've offered, without exception, has been offered with the intent of helping you to just a little more right now, offer a little less resistance right now about the subject that you really want right now. Because we know that as you diffuse that resistance, that in every releasing of a little resistance is a little more vibrational allowing and more allowing the universe to deliver to you evidence and circumstances and events and improvement about what you want. And so, you're right, we know. You have to go back and forth. Sometimes you're wanting to amplify your clarity of desire, and other times you're wanting to amplify your allowing. And really, isn't that what life is about? Sometimes people will say, well, Abraham, I just feel kind of limp. In other words, I like the drama of getting myself in trouble. We watch Esther. Esther shines in a crisis. When it really comes down to it and something really needs to be done, there is no one that can make it happen more efficiently, more effectively than Esther. And we say to her, the reason that you shine in a crisis is because the crisis causes you to focus in a way that you have not been focusing before the crisis occurred. And so contrast does cause you to focus, and it causes the energy to flow faster. But the real work, the work that is constant, steady, everyday work, is the work of bringing yourself again and again into vibrational alignment with who you are and what you want. When you really want something, there is a really keen awareness that it isn't happening. And you have to find some way of softening that. So the way we encourage you to soften it is by saying things like, you never get it done. Here you are, you're living contrast. The contrast gives birth to a rocket of desire. Now your work is to focus upon that rocket and achieve vibrational alignment with it. And once you do, now you and your desire are in the same place, and now the universe yields it to you. And now you have a whole new set of contrasting experiences that launch another rocket, and at first that rocket is not where you are because it was born out of contrast and it isn't natural to who you are. And now you give your attention to the rocket and you practice it and you come into vibrational alignment with it, and now you and the rocket are in the same vibrational place, and now it manifests, and now here you are on a new vibrational platform from which to want, and now contrast produces another rocket of desire, and on and on and on and on it goes. And so the question is, and it's a question that each of you get to answer individually because nobody else is creating in your experience, you get to decide how stressed out you get before you begin allowing what you want. You get to decide if you just sort of want and then allow, and sort of want and then allow, and then you have this nice calm life where you want it and it comes, and you want it and it comes. Or you get to decide whether you want something that is so far out there that you can't even imagine it, and it just tortures the life out of you because it is such a quantum leap from where you are, but you stay focused upon it even though you're not in vibrational proximity to it, but you just want it so much that you keep focusing upon it, but it tortures you because you know you can't afford it, or you know that you're not ready for it, but you really want it, so you stay focused upon it, and in time you just sheer wear down the vibration of resistance, and then something happens that distracts you momentarily from your resistance, and you make a little headway, and then you start getting excited, and then off you go, and then you say, oh boy, wasn't that fun? And we say, or not. In other words, you get to decide how much you torture yourself. Esther has been very annoyed. Jerry and Esther have ordered their new monster bus. They're going to pick it up in February. And Esther has wanted this bus from the first time that she saw anything like it on the road. And Jerry is always wanting to savor it. And what is annoying Esther is that back when she first saw it, she wanted it so much that the idea of receiving it would have just knocked her over. The thrill of having something that wonderful was so fantastic fantastic, but they waited and they waited and they waited and they waited, and now the monster bus is a reality. They're building it for them. It's got their name on it. They're going to pick it up. And now, while Esther is pleased with her new monster bus, there is not the off-the-wall, drop-dead excitement over it that she felt when it was vibrationally out of range. We do want you to take the manifestation out of the equation, because we know that the manifestation is just the goal that causes you to focus, and it's the juices that flow that are the thrill of life. We know that Esther's going to get that monster bus and it's going to bring her pleasure, but she has had far more pleasure in the planning of it and in the dreaming of it and the imagining of it than she will actually ever experience in the having of it, because she's been dreaming about it for many more years than she will actually have it. And we know that she will be on to the next and 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 on to the next. There's always going to be something more, you see. So finally you get to the place where you understand there is no ending to my ability to achieve. And that what life really is about is finding a reason right now to feel good, regardless of what has happened in my experience, what is happening, what I've already manifested, what's in the wings getting ready to be manifested. In other words, there's no question about your worthiness or no question about your ability to create, but there is a question about whether you have achieved habits that help you to stay happy no matter what. So the art of allowing really is about, the bottom line of it is being happy no matter what. It is what unconditional love is. Unconditional love says, I align with the energy that is love regardless of the conditions. And in that way, I can endure the war in Iraq. I can endure things happening to people that I love. I can endure because my emotions don't hinge upon this one subject. They hinge on a lot of subjects. And I've trained myself into vibrational patterns that keep me aligned with Source. Sometimes people say, well, seems like you shouldn't be that happy when there's so much that's sad going on around. And we say, you can't get sad enough to help sad people be happy. And you can't get poor enough to help poor people be prosperous, or confused enough to bring clarity to someone who's confused. In other words, you teach through the clarity of your example, and feeling good is everything. So when you say and conclude, oh, let's face it, I'm just not that happy, we say, you are sometimes.
Oh, I'm happy most of the time. But like you said, I always want to perfect things, and I want to stay that side of the equation.
Do you feel that everything in the universe has to line up just right for you to be happy?
No.
Of course not. Do you feel that everything in your life has to line up just right in order for you to be happy?
No.
Then what's this all about?
Okay. Well, it's just tweaking, just minor tweaking, and I'd love to hear you talk to me too. but when you said that when we manifest our desires, they become commonplace, and then we sit there and go, "What next?" Well, the funny thing happened to me is that
they become. It feels like the next logical step.
Well, okay.